I think I've just gotten so good at it with all the skills that I practice of assertiveness over the years, through the jaunty trainings and just through, creating a life for myself that has more experiences, right? When you're open and honest with people and you're assertive with people, it creates more opportunities. To just by expressing what you desire, you get more of what you want, and you get more opportunities for other people to emotionally invest in you because they see that you're vulnerable and open, and then you start they start being open and vulnerable to you, and that just creates more relationship opportunities, more relationship experiences. And I think because of that, I've had more experiences where I've just been able to be like this hard conversation guy. And because I'm assertive, because I'm self-expressive and assertive, it just it happens. When I see bullshit, I call it out, and then somebody comes down on me, and then we have the hard conversation, and then repeat ad infinitum. But then at the end of each of those conversations, I'm respected more. And it's
Exactly.
so awesome. It's so awesome. They like me more and they respect me more because I am who I am. And I know I have good intentions. I just think, I think about this stuff, I don't, it's not like I threw on a mask and I was like, oh, Eric taught me how to do this social stuff, so I'm going to put on the Eric mask and be Eric. No, it's I'm going to strip away all the negative stuff that happened to me and that caused me to be a certain way. And then I go back to my childhood self and the most pure form of who I am. And I just pull that out, that light that is me, and pull that out, and I'm going to let that shine and just be me vulnerably. And people love it or they hate it. But
Right.
usually if they have good intentions, they love it.
Yeah, dude,
And
that's the jaunty way, and I'm really proud of you. I know we both grown over the last few years, and I think, that's the goal, is you essentially being you, you know, and that if every that goes back to how important truth is that subconsciously, long term, trust will completely overpower breaking rapport, right? So trust will always keep the relationship strong in that sense, because I've been in very similar situations, and at the end of the day, it's like people want to be around you because, hey, this, what they're saying is making me face myself a little bit, and either what I wanted, not getting what I want, how I react to that. But if the person has that underlining truth, right? Exactly what you said. You can have the most difficult conversation in the world, but they still want to go get a drink with you after, and they still want to talk to you the next day, right? And that's the sign that, hey, you know what? Damn, the realness is coming out, and because they know that nobody's there trying to play them or manipulate them. And so going into conversations being I think having the harder conversations more often than you think during a relationship or a friendship is essential, because rapport, like we say, rapport is like a muscle, where if you have tiny micro tears, it ends up getting stronger if you do it correctly, rather than you don't want to break trust. That would be like pulling the muscle or tearing it or something. And so it's powerful. It's so nice, and it's just so freeing as well. Commonality is the first thing we usually look at and look for if we're going to build relationships. And I think maybe sometimes we overvalue it. Marriages tend to work better if you have more, or at least certain things in common, right? So that's for marriage. I know there was a lot of research on that. But you also learn more when you meet people that you don't have stuff in common with. And of course, friendships and business relationships can be met, or can be had in that situation. But that's why at Jaunty we mix all those things in, right? It's nice to create that that cake of like, cool, these are commonalities. Cool. These are, same sense of humor is like an important one, right? Beliefs and goals, right? You need to have both wanting a family and wanting
Values,
kids, right?
Values are important to have in common. I think
Right.
that's absolutely. But
Yes.
like both liking the same books or movies or sports, like I don't think that's important.
Right. Those are more surface level things
Or having,
that could reflect values in some sense, but maybe books are different than food, for instance.
Sure.
Right. Like you might like a different type of food. You're not going to not marry someone because they like pizza and you like, burritos. And so, yeah, it depends on what it is for sure. But there's a really good book. Man, I can't remember. It's really hard to get. Actually, it's called I Do. It's about marriage and relationships. But yeah, the premise is that a lot of values need to be in common, and you can find those things. But what I was going back with the cake is you have some commonality, and then you also have the ability to negotiate. The ability of what you're saying is having harder conversations and truthful conversations and open conversations and adaptability, right, is a big deal. But also being able to watch how people react to that stuff is a big deal. Because if someone, if someone storms off after a little disagreement, right, and that's like being avoidant and wanting them to secretly, follow you into the room, you have to look for those things. Those are different styles of communication, and those need to be spoken about.